All right, what's up? Back at it again here. This week we're on Borderlands. Let's get started. This week did not go as well as the week before. I kind of just powered in to work and put my head down and just made it happen, and I didn't get my drums done basically any day. So I didn't play drums all week. I just worked a lot. So I got a lot of appliances fixed. And so now I need to get them sold. So I'm going to work on that today. I'm going to repost everything. So like I don't know, I have most of them fixed now in the garage. I'm down to like a stove, which I don't think I want to fix because it's missing parts. It's old and dirty and I just don't want to deal with it. So I'm just going to probably not do that. And then I did get a washer yesterday, which also sort of looks like it's not going to be fixable, but I will try. And then 2 washers that need bearings. And I tore one of them apart and ordered the bearings. Now, interestingly enough, I could not find a bearing kit for this washer. So what I did was, and we'll have to see how this goes, I just ordered the correct size of bearings with the correct seals. Now, the other problem with that is I could not get a name brand bearing with the correct seals and the correct sizes, and I don't know why. I could get a different type of seal with the correct size on the name brand bearing. So I just ordered them, and I'm just going to put them in, and I will put that in the description of whoever I sell it to. And if they end up not working, then I don't know. I might have to go do this job again and try. Some people were trying and using the wrong type of seal. So basically, there's a different type of sealed bearing that some people were using, and it was probably working. I mean, really, the thing is that the type of seal that it needs is designed for a high speed, whereas the type of seal that they're using is not necessarily designed for a high speed. And I don't know if it needs it or not. So whatever. This is what I'm doing. I'm just going to do it and sell the machines, and then I'll offer, maybe I'll offer like to get the parts if it fails or something. I don't know. Somebody's going to get, I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. We'll just have to see. Because who knows? Like the one bearings that were really cheap on there, I didn't get these. But there was one review that said they lasted a month. And it makes me worried. And the other problem is I don't have a parts supplier for this brand of machine. And the other problem with that, too, is that this machine is so new that there's not really a lot of aftermarket parts for it yet. Because I think it's only like a year old or 2 years old. Like it's basically a brand new machine that for whatever reason the bearings have already failed. Which is a problem because the bearings are the hardest part to fix. And this is why I don't like doing these jobs but I have to stop with that mentality. But the reason I don't like doing these jobs is because they're on new machines. The parts are so expensive and I don't know if I'm going to be able to sell this machine after I put, 3 or 4 hours of work into it, because it's a lot of work to take this much apart. I mean, I actually did this one pretty fast. So I'm obviously getting better at it. But because I think I only, normally I would think this would take like 6 hours to tear all this down. It only took me an hour to get the bearings out. And I'm assuming it'll only take me an hour to get them back in. I don't know. But now I have to wait 6 days for the stuff to get here because I don't have a in-town parts supplier for this brand of machine. And so I'm ordering off of Amazon. I did check eBay, and that's the thing is eBay has a lot more options, but they're still all no-name brands. And, and a lot of the time the way this stuff works, unfortunately, is this stuff is all made in China. And you'll have your name brand thing, whatever it is. And, in the same factory, they're kind of making the no-name brand thing. And it's out of similar materials or it's not. You know what I mean? So it's like, you just never know. But whatever. So yeah. So there we are. That's where we are with that. So I did
Show me what you got.
But I probably, I don't know, I processed a lot of machines this week. Basically, I'm out of dryers to fix. I've fixed all the dryers I have, and I haven't gotten any new ones. I haven't really gotten any inquiries and sales. Yesterday I didn't get anything. I don't know if, I don't know. So, but I've put everything online, and I'm not really getting, I'm going to have to just repost everything today. I'm going to repost it all today and see if I can get some stuff going for this weekend. Get some stuff changed out. And then, yeah. And then we'll keep going. Tomorrow, I'm going to try not to work. So I'm going to try to get everything done today. I'll try to get the other washer torn apart and the bearings ordered for that one. And hopefully that one's not as bad as the other one I have. I also don't have a parts supplier for that one. So I need to, because the parts supplier I have is, I found out they only do like Whirlpool, Maytag, Kenmore, which I don't know why, but they're only affiliated with that string of brands, which is kind of all the same company, from what I understand. So Samsung and LG, like I went in there trying to get a Samsung part one time, and they just simply couldn't get it, which was interesting because I was like, well, the name of your guys' company, it's not Maytag. It's a different business than, but I mean, they just don't, I don't know. And I'm sure there is one in town. I just haven't looked around. I've just used Amazon. The only reason that I've tried to give these guys any business, because I pretty much just use Amazon. But I've tried to get these guys business when I can because they've helped me out with like HVAC issues that I've had, like where I've gone and tried to buy HVAC parts from other companies, and they won't sell to me because I'm not an HVAC tech. And I'm not trying to work on people's furnaces. I've only needed parts for myself. And it's funny too, because that other business, I went in there, my motor went out in my furnace like 2 years after I moved into this house. And so I took it apart, diagnosed it, and went down there, looked up online or whatever where to buy HVAC parts, and that came up. So I go down there and I'm like, hey, you guys have this motor? And that guy was just like, yeah, here you go, $100. Out the door, done. Paid it, left, came back, or, like 4 or 5 I don't know, maybe 8 years later, the the igniter goes out, hot surface igniter. You know, so and like the problem was with this one is it was like 30 degrees outside, and I needed a furnace. You know, and now I have kids too, so I'm like, it was kind of a different situation than when the motor went out. It was in the summer. It wasn't that big a deal. Like I could have waited. You know, I could have. Like nobody was gonna really be that uncomfortable. It was just gonna be hot in the house. You know, there's lots of ways to get around that. It's not that. It's not like a big deal. And so I went down there when it was a big deal, and I've got kids, and you know we're running like space heaters, and I'm like, hey, I just need this hot surface. You know, it's like a $20 part or something. It's not that big a deal. And the dude's like, nope, can't help you. You know, the other thing too is that it really irritated me because he had a customer there, and it was obviously one of the regular HVAC techs that works with him all the time, and they were, you know, kind of buddies, right? And so, but this guy was ordering a lot of stuff, right? He was like refilling his service van or whatever, right? And so the biggest irritating part for me was that he just like, this clerk just let me sit there. He let me stand there for, I don't know, probably 25, 30 minutes. And instead of at some point saying, hold on a second, to his buddy and saying, do you have a license? And or saying like, you have an account with us? Or you know what I mean? He just let me stand there. Which, you know, whatever. Like, he didn't know, I guess. He didn't know that I didn't have an account. But he did know. Because the way that he asked me, the first thing he does is asks me, he's like, after he gets done with his 25-minute order with the other guy, he's like, the first thing he says, he doesn't go like, hi, how's it going? What do you need? None of that. He just goes, do you have an account with us? And the way that he said it was just like he already knew that I was just like civilian or whatever, you know? And I'm like, well, no. And he's like, oh, well, I can't sell to you. And I'm like, you couldn't have told me that, you know, 10 minutes ago. I know like people don't come in here and, yeah. You know, regular people don't come in here from time to time, and you couldn't have just like, yeah, well, apparently not. So he let me stand there and just waste my time, and that's what happened. How do my backpack's already full again. How does this happen? How come there's not a closer vending machine over here? There's no vending machines over here. I wonder if there is some in here. If I just like run over to here real quick. Anyways, so, you know, shout out to that guy for being a super like awesome guy that could have just like helped me out and didn't. So I told him, I'm like, well, I was in here a while ago and I bought a motor from another guy, and he didn't tell me that I needed an account or I needed to be HVAC certified to work on my own machine, which isn't true, by the way. You need to be certified to work on other people's machines. So, which I'm not working on other people's machines, you know. So anyways, it's weird that it has the path going through there. So I do that, and he's like, so I leave, and then I find this other place, you know, and luckily I called him. Well, I went to Lowe's after that, and I was like, Lowe's, do you have this thing? And they're like, no. And I'm like, do you know of anywhere where I can get it? Because I don't want to order it and have to wait, you know, 3 days in the cold while my furnace doesn't work. And he's like, yeah, go over here to this place. They'll sell to you. And he told me about this place. And so I went over there and they sold to me. And it turns out they actually sell appliance parts. And the hot surface igniter is the same one that's in dryers. You know, and these parts are like interchangeable. That's the thing, is like, it's not, you know, he's not selling me a gas valve, right? Common sense is just gone. It's just straight up gone. But what it is, I find out, is that these companies stick together. You know, and like, I get it, business, HVAC business, they are like super against you doing it yourself, and then they can keep the price up. You know, you ever notice how much more expensive it is to get your furnace worked on than it is to get like your fridge worked on or whatever? I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Target hit.
I'm just going to not deal with these guys and try to get back to these vending machines, which are right here, I guess. You know what I mean? It's like these guys, they just like, you know, and like, I get it. Like, we're all just trying to make money or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, how many times have you heard of HVAC companies showing up and being sort of predatory? Where they're like, you know, and I know like the whole mechanic world has this bad rap for crooked mechanics or whatever. But it seems like a lot of people who are HVAC companies, they'll show up and try to sell you a new system when your old one could be fixed. You know, in this situation, I bet you anything, if I called an HVAC tech and I was like, hey, you know, come fix my stuff, in this situation, I bet you anything they'd say you need a new system. And if I wasn't sort of savvy and didn't know what I was doing, you know, I'd be like, yeah, you're right. I guess I need a new one. You know, there's 10 grand. Just, you know, 10 grand real quick. Go ahead and sign me up for the, what is it? The old financing. Oh yeah, debt. Yeah, let's do that. Why not? You know, why not finance my furnace? Well, that's what we do, right? As Americans, or whatever you want to call it, as people, and then we get more and more stuck into this situation, like, and I'm trying to stay out of that situation, trying to not be stuck, and trying to not be in debt, and so forth. So you know, because like, my machine is old. It's really old, and that's another reason why I need to make a whole bunch of money. I need like 30 grand like this year extra, because I'm gonna need a new furnace soon. Like, I don't know when, but this is just, yeah. I don't know well, you know, here's the deal. The furnace is alright and the air conditioning works, but it is old. Okay, so, okay, how do I get into there? Why is it not like Moxie's Big Encore? Anyways, so, you know, because there's another thing that happened to my system, like, the circuit board went out in it. And, like, of course, nobody has a circuit board for a 30-year-old machine. So what I did is I got on eBay and I ordered a circuit board. But me being me, you know, I diagnosed it to a bad relay on the board. Okay, so I went ahead and ordered the new circuit board, and then what I did is I just got some bodge wires, and can I not go in there, or is it up? Or can I not go up? Do I have to still this? It's like, I don't know. It says that I've gotten this thing. So how do I get up there? Or is this part of the train thing that I haven't unlocked yet? Can I fast travel? Let's see. If I just like, where's the town? Maybe I need to start utilizing the fast travel here. There we go. All right, so that's that. So, but yeah, my circuit board went out on it, and so I bodge wired in a new relay, and then I put the circuit board back in there while I waited for the used circuit board that I got off of eBay to show up. And then I slapped that in there. So now I have another circuit board. I have one circuit board with a bad relay and a bodged relay onto it. Like, I just basically took the old relay off, wired my own relay on. It wasn't the right relay, so I had to like put wires to it or whatever. Obviously, don't try any of this at home, and none of this is medical advice, but it's like I have these people show up at my door and they're just used to dealing with the general public people just don't do anything anymore. You know what I mean? Where the hell am I? What is the launch pad? I don't even know. Is there like I think somewhere over here there's vending machines? Am I like down in the thing or what in the crap? I don't know what's going on. So anyways, I okay. Here I am. Okay, so anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm just going to keep fixing it until I can't, It's just the way it is. Cuz like I just need to get, and obviously when I can't, like I was even thinking about going and getting certified, cuz it would be a good career cuz they make a lot of money, right? I guess I got to figure out what to equip. They do make a lot of money, HVAC guys. They seem to. But it does just seem like I don't know. Is it a shady business? Because on one hand, you are like helping people because like, yeah, my machine needs to be replaced. But if you like factor in my whole situation, I'm not ready to replace it. So just because it needs to be doesn't mean that I have the money. And I think too often in our society, we're like, well, I don't have the money, but I'm going to do it anyways, even though you're not even able to. You know what I mean? Because you're like, you can't afford it. And so then what do? We just get in debt and get in more and more and more debt. So this has 173 damage, so I can sell all those. Shotgun is 186. So I can sell all those. Pistol's 155. So I can sell all those. That's 181. 756, huh? So I have that. It's not the one that I have. So the one that I have equipped is here, but it's 346, but it's a legend. I don't know. So 756 is the one I'm keeping. So it looks like I can probably sell all the shields. Yeah. So 362 for my rep kit. So I can sell all those. And I don't know about these grenade mods. I'm probably just going to sell them all anyways.
forgotten what joy felt like. You're charmed, I'm sure. You'll never get me plucky.
All right, now let's go over here to this lost item, lost loot, because it's probably full. Pull all this out. Go sell all that crap too. I don't know why. Like, I never use money. I don't know why I'm always so worried about loot. You know, I think it's like, hey, come on. Like, I put it up there and I push square and it doesn't do anything. I don't know why. Like, I don't know if at some point I'm going to find, like, Moxie's place and be able to gamble, you know, or what. Because usually that's what I did in the other games. I would just gamble and get SDU upgrades. So, but yeah, anyways, you know, the HVAC companies that are out there that will fix people's machines, like, I guess good on you guys. I think I need to upgrade this lost loot one. Really. Maybe I'll just do it that many times. Plus 2 items recovered. But because, you know, it's like I could install my own machine. I could fix my own stuff, you know. And like the other thing too is that my house is not, the machine that I have is not set up well for my house. And what I mean by that is I have 4 levels in my house. And okay, the bottom level is always like 20 degrees colder than the top level. Okay? And there's no way of like nobody, whoever sized and, you know, designed my system, they should have put in a double stage system or whatever you call that. A dual zone. You know what I mean? Like, you don't necessarily need to have the middle area on a zone, but we should have had the top on its own zone and the bottom on its own zone. So really a 3-zone system would be best. Because it is technically 4 levels, but the bottom level is a 2-step level. But the reason I say there's 4, really I need 4 zones, and the reason I say that is because the room that I'm in right now is sort of separated from the other rooms in the basement. So in the basement, there's like a hallway that has the rooms coming off of it, a bathroom, a bedroom, and a utility room. But they all come off of one hallway. And then at the end of that hallway is this room, which is like a big, I don't know, I guess it would be a family room. It technically could be a bedroom because it does have a closet, what could be a closet, and a window. But it's big, so, you know, it would probably be considered like another family room or something, which I use it as my band room. But basically, you know, you have this room, and it's obvious whoever finished this basement was not like totally professional. I mean, it's not a bad job, like I wouldn't say, but it's obviously not like the rest of the house. It's definitely been done differently. But anyways, so they didn't put any vents in this room, which I knew all this stuff when I bought the house. I got the house inspected and they told me all about it, and it is what it is. And so this room they put a baseboard heater on it, like an electric one, which kind of used to be a problem because it was expensive to run, but now natural gas is so expensive that it's just like we might as well just switch to electric heat, because my gas bill in the winter is so much money. It used to be so much less than my electric bill in the summer, and now it's not. It's the same. It's like my gas bill and my electric bill just flip depending on whether I need to cool the house or heat the house. So, because that's the world that we're living in now. And, you know, because yay, let's print money. Like, don't even get me started on all that. Let's just print money, Yeah, because, that'll help, right? Like, let's just screw the economy up by printing money. Anyways, yeah, this must be like a different town that I haven't got to yet. Is this a fast travel? Is there any fast travels, or do I still got to drive all the way over there again? I guess it's not that far, but anyways, so that's what I need. I need like a multi-stage system. So there was no vent in this room. I kind of put a vent in, but it's not, obviously it's not, perfect, or even kind of, it does help. It helps a little with this room. So this room is now a little bit more equalized to the rest of the house, but it's still not, it's not the best. And yeah, so I need a multi-stage system that will sort of do that sort of thing. That will, that will have different, and that's going to be money. It's going to be like 15 grand for what I want, at least. And by the time I get there, it might be 20. Because who knows? And then we need new cars. I don't know. The car that I daily has 270,000 miles on it. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're talking about their cars getting old. And like, and I think they were saying, well, that thing has like 70,000 miles on it. And I was like, geez, like 70,000. So whatever I'm doing, it needs to be, I just need to start shoveling money in to my situation. I need to get a big shovel and just start shoveling money in. I need to stop spending so much, but it's hard because I want to go camping and I want to do all the things, and I don't want to say no to my family when they're like, can we get this? Can we do that? I'm like, yeah, we should be able to do that. Let's find a way to do that. So that's what I'm doing, but it's just very hard to get a business up and off the ground, and before, when I was doing it, I was having more success sort of than I am now, but it's still early. And the YouTube thing is still growing. I'm still gaining subscribers. I know this doesn't seem like a lot, but the amount of advertising I put in is 0, and I'm up to 34. And I'm up to almost 30,000 views. So not on this channel, obviously, but that's not what I'm talking about. On my appliance repair channel. And I have made some money. I've made enough to be able to sort of fix my trailer. Okay, I have an appliance trailer that I use, and it's needed some tires and stuff. So I've got that. Okay, my phone was totally like it was almost to the point where it wasn't usable. I was like, okay, it would just randomly scroll because the screen was messed up, and it wouldn't charge fast enough to the point to where there was something wrong with the battery, so it would get really hot when it was charging. And basically what is that? Use. Oh, it's a shield thing. So basically, when I would be driving to these addresses, it's like scrolling, so the Google Maps is messed up, and then it won't charge fast enough, and it gets hot, and so it would just it would go into overheat mode while I'm trying to go to an address. So I'm like, I would have to study where the place is and remember it in my head, because it's a good possibility that halfway there the phone's going to just go into overheat mode and not tell me where to drive anymore. So I would just at that point have to just do it from memory, which is fine. I know how to do that because I started driving before Google Maps was a thing. So, my dad taught me how to get around without a phone telling me where to go. So it's not that big a deal. But, I was able to make enough money to get myself a working phone, which is good because I wasn't able to get myself a working phone on my regular day job and feed everybody and all this other stuff. So, so hopefully what we can do is, and I know this channel is just like a place where I vent and dump all my issues of the week on, but that's what I'm doing now. This is the new way. So hopefully I can get enough subs to get monetized, or I'm starting to make money there, right? And get customers. And I do really still hope. I've said it on this channel before. I really hope and want to turn this business into what others have done on YouTube, where we make at least partially, we help people out, with their machines. So it's obviously what I am able to do. I have a lot of talent in repair. A lot of that comes from my dad, and he has, immense talent in figuring out what's wrong with things. And so I'm going to try to share that with the world. What is that? And so that's what I'm doing. But the thing is I could get these videos made and help people with their machines without necessarily having to charge all of them. I could charge some. Well, most just want to pay because they're like that. But looks like this is my mission. It's over here anyways, so might as well just. Anyways, so I'm gonna keep going, and this time I'm not gonna quit. Even when I don't want to do it, I'm gonna keep doing it. I give my kids this advice, so I need to use this advice too. There's lots of times where I'm just like, I don't want to continue. Even when this washer I got yesterday, I don't want to fix it. I really don't like working on washers because it's not easy, because I don't fully know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So when you fully don't know what you're doing, you don't know, I don't know how to fix this stuff. I don't know what's wrong with the thing. I don't have the full confidence in it like I do with the dryer. You can give me any dryer and I can tell you what's wrong with it. Sometimes they're harder than others, I'll give you that, but I pretty much know exactly how to test everything. I have the tests for the whole situation, and it's sometimes I don't like the answers to my diagnosis, so I go in further than I should, but the diagnosis is the same. A motor's bad. It's the worst case scenario. All the other stuff's so easy to change, and with washing machines, they're not. Changing bearings on a dryer is so easy. It's no big deal, but changing bearings on a washer, it's hours of work. And then you don't always know if it's going to be fixed when you're done, and you're dealing with bearings, so it's getting the bearings to, line up right and everything. Doesn't always work. So now you've done all this work and it doesn't work. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to do it anyways. And if it wastes money, it wastes money. I get the experience, right? So we're not worried about money right now. We're worried about experience. We've got to become the best appliance repair guy there is. We've got to become the best appliance business there is. How do we do that? Well, we have to be able to not overcharge. So we got to be able to charge the right amount to get all the repeat customers. We got to be able to charge enough that it's worth it, so we make money. We've got to be able to fix anything. I've got to be able to I need to get an in-town parts supplier for those other brands. It's I can get, the Whirlpool, Maytag, all those parts, no big deal. And I did those jobs, I've done those jobs recently, where I've gone to that store, bought those parts, been able to go back to the customer, put the good quality parts on that I know are good. I'm not worried about whether they're bad from Amazon or not, because not everything on Amazon is good. So, and then just continue. Continue to gain customers and build. And build and build and build. And I just want to get to a maintenance program with everybody, where we're maintaining their machines so that they don't wear out. Dryer bearings wear out because of human hair. That's my opinion. That's what I've seen so far. The hair gets caught in them, and then the dryer bearing more or less machines the hair into like this sticky like glue. You know what I mean? And it like eventually locks the bearing up. And then once the bearing is locked up, the machine continues to turn that bearing, and then that just creates heat, which machines the area. So, like it says I'm supposed to do something here, but I don't know what. Electroshock therapy. I am. So I have to find some kind of sample here. Right? Oh, it's right there. Where is it? Okay, here we go.
We're good on the ordinate.
You're so beautiful at fighting death. Bring it to me. Or you could go ahead and grab that iridium while you're out.
So anyways, you know, that's a lot to do. It's like, would it be, sometimes I wonder if it would be better to go back to school, you know, like if I could go get an HVAC license or something. But I don't know. You know, it's like, then I still got to go get a boss. And like bosses don't always agree with me on what I need to do. Like, it's just like with, you know, my kids or whatever. It's like when I have my own business, like last night I was working, you know, after working 2 jobs, guess what? The phone rings and I got to go to work at 7:30 at night. You know what I mean? But guess what? That's my family time. So what do? Well, I'm like, family, do you guys want to come with me? And we'll go do this, you know, this work. And they're like, yeah, I want to go with you. And I'm like, okay, come with then. You know, and it's the type of work that you can bring kids to. It's not that big a deal. So I did that and it worked out, I guess. But yeah. So that's the deal. If I have my own business, then, you know, and there's other benefits to that. It's like these kids, they need training in how to work. And that's one thing that I don't know, as employees, we don't take our kids to work. You know, when was the last time you had a take your kid to work day at work? Like, I haven't, my work doesn't do that. And my old work didn't do that. You know, my old work, it was more sort of acceptable than the new one, I guess. The new one, I can't do it at all. Like, you know, I drive a truck. I can't, like, they literally tell you in the first training, like, you can't, you know, have your kids in the truck or whatever. It's like, none of that, that's not a thing. So, I mean, I'm sure we could, like, I homeschool my kids, so, and I've thought about doing, like, having them come over for, like, a field trip. You know what I mean? I don't know if they would want to, but they have their homeschool group. They do these field trips. Maybe they could. I don't know. But maybe one day. Come see what we do. Okay, how do I get there? Looks like it's up there. Which is, you know, this 3D thing that this game is doing. It's fine and all, but how do I get up there? I guess I'd probably need to go around the other way. Is there vending machines at this area? Ancient crawler. What is that? Ransack these abandoned crawlers for valuable tech. Okay, that's fine and all, but I want to get up here. Looks like I have to go around this way. So let's go back. We'll come back to this maybe. Although I don't know how much more time I should be playing. I need to get to editing and other things. I need to play my drums. Like, I felt like band practice was tight enough for me this week. I felt like the week before was just god awful. I don't know what happened. But you know, sometimes you just have your bad days, you know, in playing music or whatever. But I'm trying to practice so that everything gets tighter and I learn new technique and all that sort of thing. But I need to continue practicing. And you know, now it's been 2 weeks because what happened was I went on vacation, and I did practice drums a little on that vacation, but not that much. And then I sort of got out of the habit. And then this whole week I've been trying to catch up money wise because I spent a bunch of money on vacation. And you know, it was the wife's birthday, spent a lot of money on that and all that stuff. So trying to catch up and, you know, get back, but it just takes time and effort, really, you know. Okay, let's do this area and get this sample, and then I'll go do drums or edit. But you know, I'm trying to do a lot right now. I'm trying to do my full business and then a side business of YouTube, which is not this account, but I'm trying to get trying to get caught up on the videos so that the videos that I'm selling, because this is what was really working. The last time that I quit this job, this business, what was really working well to get people like on my side, if you will, like to where they really trusted me, customers, was, come on man, this like black hole thing is screwing me up here. I don't know what the crap is going on, but I can't shoot the dude because I'm like stuck in his black hole or something. Alright, well, can you black hole me while I'm down? Second win. This guy's like a hard boss too, it looks like. I need to get him on my pets. That's the only way I'm gonna be able to get him. Keep the pets out. Okay, where did he go? Anyways, so basically I'm just trying to catch up, and I did work while I was on vacation, which helped too. Where did that boss go? 'Cause I don't think I got him. This wasn't the boss, was it? I don't think it was. Maybe that was the boss. But yeah, it's like I gotta get, all the regular stuff I gotta do. And, homeschool. Homeschool is not cheap. Because it's like you have to buy all this stuff. And then on top of that, you can't have a double income household, Which I don't want a double income household. Like, I don't want my wife to work at all. What I would rather have is she just does homeschool and does all the things that she needs to do, the household work, like she does that work. Or what I want her to do is a passion job where she gets a lot out of it. And that's what I'm trying to, push her towards, which is like singing lessons, So, and the interesting thing about that is that she doesn't get paid a whole lot from her job that she spends a lot of time at. And if she spent that much time working on a singing lesson business, she would be, oh, is it right there? What is that? Yeah, that's it, I think. Nice.
We're good on the iridium too.
So I was already over here and I couldn't find it, I don't think. So anyways, that's the deal, is that working for the place that she works at is BS. And I work there too. And I shouldn't work there either. It's just not good to work there. I'm gonna work there less because it's complicated of why I even work there. I want a plan B, but it's not a good plan B. If I had to use it as a plan B, it would be a nightmare because it just doesn't pay enough. There's no way to get, there's just not even near enough. And what's weird is it used to be. like we both used to work there and we figured it out, but you know, now I have more kids, like, you know, it's just not, I have a bigger goals. Like I want to be able to do stuff like, you know, everything is a lot more money now than it used to be, but it's just all that stuff added on equals it doesn't work, you know. And like some people keep saying, oh, it's going to get better, and it never does. And then you go in there and it's like all the management and stuff, they just want everything out of you and more out of you and more out of you, even though the pay isn't more. You know what I mean? So, I mean, not me. They don't do that to me, but and then everybody there is just like so indoctrinated that nobody's like, well, this place doesn't pay enough. Like we should all figure out other situations, you know, and then they would pay more. But they don't. They're just all stuck there. So anyways, yeah, so hopefully that's what we'll do. We'll just start working on that, working towards that sort of situation, you know, where basically I need to make an extra 30 grand in 6 months. Okay, so let's work that backwards. So I need to make 5 grand a month, right, in 6 months. So I have to sell or do a lot of appliance work to get to there. Like I don't know if that's even going to work, you know. Or I got to save. Well, I can save about 1,000 a month if I really put my mind to it, just with our regular budget. If we ran the correct budget, you know, it's hard because utilities are way more now. Like everything is way more. But I should be able to do that. And so that's what I'm going to have to do. And that would get me to like 6 there. And then in 6 months. And if I could do that, then maybe next year we could get, if we could do 10 grand on each business, you know, which should be doable. Basically in 6 months for 10 grand, we need to make like 1,500 a month, right? So now you got 4 weeks, you know, you got to make $400 a week on each business. We're breaking that down. That's what we need to do for 6 months. And then, you know, or something like that. And then we could get 2 $10,000 cars, which would work. I mean, we have 4 cars. And like, I wouldn't buy another $10,000 car for me. Like, it wouldn't exactly work out this way. What I would do is take that 10 grand, put it into a Blazer that I have that doesn't run. And I think, you know, it wouldn't even need 10. Because if I can get I don't think the transmission works. I could get a junkyard transmission, put that in there, or if not that, then you know, get the transmission rebuilt, which should be like 3,000 or 4,000, or rebuild it. I mean, maybe I'll just rebuild it, which would be a lot cheaper. Just, you know, make it happen, like make it work, put it back together, because we should be able to rebuild it. You know, I mean, I know what's wrong with it. It should just have smoked clutches. So just rebuild it, put it back together. If that doesn't work, we rebuild it again until it works. We just need to learn how to do this stuff, you know, because it's like my dad used to know how to do all this stuff. He can learn again. We can just do it, you know. I mean, obviously he doesn't want to do that anymore, but we just need to do it and just rebuild the thing, teach the kids about repair and redo it all. And then, you know, get the wife a $10,000 car, and then we would have, and then get rid of the 2 cars that are kind of bad. We have a car that's basically, you know, a 0-mile car or a 3,000-mile car. It's got 197,000 miles on it technically, but it has the engine and transmission are both freshly rebuilt. So they're like got 3,000, 4,000 miles on them, something like that. I had the transmission rebuilt, and then I blew the engine, like literally one trip. It's a camping truck. the next trip I blew the engine. And so I went and bought an engine. You know, that's part of the reason why I'm having money issues too, is that truck. But now it's new, you know, it's renewed, or however you want to call that. It should last a long, long time. So, you know, I'm just going to use that. And so we do have a good, reliable vehicle there. So, you know, and we don't have to do 10 grand either, but that's the goal. Okay. Next year, the goal that I need to accomplish is I need to have money for a furnace. So when it goes, I'm just like, okay, pull the trigger. And I need like probably 15 for that, because I want at least a dual zone. It's going to be more money to get the zones, you know what I mean? Because it would be nice to have a thermostat, at least a thermostat in this room, and then the regular thermostat that was already there. At least to be able to control this room on its own would be nice, because I spend a lot of time down here, and it's always too hot or too cold in here compared to the rest of the house. So, I mean, really in the summer, I don't have to do anything. I just need it for the winter, really. Which, you know, even that's not a huge deal. Like I've been getting around it with electric heat, which is what I do. I mean, and maybe the thing to do instead is to take some of that money, so just get a regular single zone system again, and then take that money and get a solar system that would provide heat in here. You know, you could do that. So batteries that can just run a heater, you know, or whatever. But anyways, I want to go do that other stuff. So now, but that's the goal. I got to be able to get, the furnace is going to be the big one, the cars, and I only have 6 months. So I got to start really running in this business. But thanks for watching. I'll be back on tomorrow, maybe tonight. I don't know. But